I think this church square and this part of this little village that we're in northern Italy, like right up on the Swiss border, captures for me the things that I love the most about Europe. I've recently, especially this year, just been enamored with Europe and the various countries here that I've had the honor to go to. And I was just exploring this little church in this little courtyard area, and a few things just kind of went click in my mind. This is why I love Europe, and particularly this particular part of Europe, so much. It largely breaks down into three things. It's only in a place like this that you find a little tucked away courtyard like this. This church was built in the early 1600s, so it's quite old, nestled right up into the mountains, like directly behind is like forest and grass and trees. I love that. In this quiet courtyard, there's a public water fountain right over there, a very quiet parking spot. People live right here. I don't know anywhere else in the world you find that level of connection to nature and quietness and little tucked away corners like this. I've only seen it in places like this part of Europe, and I love it. And the other main point is simply the rootedness of this place. This is something I mentioned in a lot of videos, but I just keep coming back to it. Again, you have a church that's 500 years old right outside of this building, and I have to say, I have no idea what this building even is, but it's like, it's quiet, it's peaceful, and I can just come look at it and enjoy it and just be here. Right here is the little public water fountain that I mentioned before. This part of the world has so much history and culture. It's so deeply rooted in ways that are very tangible. So I travel quite a lot in the Middle East as well because of the work I have with a nonprofit. That's a whole nother thing, a bunch of videos up on this channel about that. But I don't feel the same sense of rootedness there that I feel here, because it's not as tangible. They don't have ancient, buildings like this that you can just come explore and rent an Airbnb right down the road in a cabin, that's as old as George Washington, for example. Again, made a video about that too. It's different. It's not as tangible in my mind. Again, this is all purely subjective. This is all my opinion, but that's for me the point that really connects well, is I can just be a part of this and experience this little neat, out of the way, tucked away corner in some tiny little village that's hardly on the map in northern Italy up by the Swiss border. It's truly unique. I have not seen anything like that in my travels, and I think that's my second reason why I love this part of Europe so much. And the third reason that I just love this part of the world is right here where we're staying. Let me show you. So you have the little cabin that we're in, obviously the beautiful mountains there, but here's something that I've only seen in this part of the world. If you go up past the little fence here in the barn, this turns into a public hiking trail. So yeah, you step out of the gate of where we're staying, and if you look, some of these old buildings and barns are marked with little trail signs. Here, allow me to show you. Oh, and very old fence row. Wow. But that little indication there is telling us this is a trail to go up the mountains. Oh. Okay, this spot's pretty cool. I'd love to know the story behind these buildings. I mean, oh, wow. Look at this trail, y'all. And I think this really sums up why I just love this part of the world, and it's the connectedness with nature and natural environment, and how the homes are built right into the mountains, and there's trails, and it feels much more connected to the environment. And it's not just here in the mountains or on these trails in the beautiful natural environment, but it's also in the way people live. It seems like there's a lot less processed foods, for example, and things are generally more healthy in these kinds of places. And it's hard to even put a word on it, but it comes down to like what is appreciated. So for example, these mountains are covered in these trails, and it's very normal to see people just out and about walking these trails and enjoying nature and being part of the mountains, so to speak. And yeah, I like that. I need more of that in my own life, and I think that's why I'm so attracted to it. I realize how important that is.